Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM. It's a kit which is molded in 1/35 scale, and interesting thing about this release is that we have two models actually included, and also there are some additional items as you can see on the box art. And we have a commercial sample here, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you'll see in this video review. Kit number is DS3512. And the name is World War II Red Army Rocket Artillery. So as you can see, we have two trucks and maybe even figures supplied here because they're depicted on the box art, and usually ICM supplies what is drawn here. And box size is quite huge. Here you can see comparison with my hand. Weight is also quite noticeable, and if I flip it over here, you can also see some information about the real prototype as well as some information about the kit. So we have 343 parts for assembly of BM1316, and also we have 272 parts for assembly of the simple truck, 43 parts for assembly of World War II vehicle crew, and also 13 parts for assembly of drivers, and 52 parts for assembly of two boxes of 8 shells, and that's pretty much all. That's quite a package. I was expecting a bit less, but this is really handy, I think. Even if you don't have to or don't plan to use them all at once, still it's quite cool to get all this stuff at once. And now we are just going to cut through all the stickers in order to find out what is actually included. And in the meantime, I can also remind you that you can support us with a small donation. Such stuff will be appreciated because it will help us to get new photo and video equipment, and also to get some interesting kits which will be reviewed together with you, because without your help it will be a bit difficult, especially in the current conditions, if you know what I mean. Next box is opened. Now I just need to remove this top cover. As you can see, this is a thin color printed cover, so that's why it does not play any protection, or does not provide any protection because it's flexible. But still, I'm a bit surprised by the weight of this box, so just give me a moment. Let's open it. Here is what we have inside. So as you remember, we have two versions of the same truck. It's WWII, and I suggest we open the one with the rockets. We leave aside the simple truck because it's just a simple truck. It's more interesting to check the rocket launcher version. So now I just need to find out which one is what. So okay, so this is the set of sprues for the simple truck, quote unquote. But as you can see, everything is packed into the same plastic bag, so there is nothing unusual, I would say. I will put it aside as we just discussed. And the next plastic bag is actually dedicated to the rocket launcher series. So this one we will open, and it's a resealable plastic bag, so it should be easy to open. Just give me a second. Okay. So what do we have here? Let's put aside the plastic bag. And first of all, we are going to start with the wheel rims. These are plastic parts, nothing unusual in my opinion. And if I zoom in as much as I can, maybe I'll place only one sprue here. You can see that we have these parts nicely molded, and there is nothing to complain about in my opinion. It's just a matter of careful painting. And of course, such design implies that we have the vinyl tires. There is nothing you can do with it, so you will have to work with it. And such parts are usually a bit tricky to paint, but with some patience, you should be able to get a nice result. Now I am trying to open the next plastic bag with quite unusual bonus for ICM, I would say, because it's an P thread, which will be handy for the radiator grill. So if I put aside this sprue and put here this P thread, you can see what I'm talking about. And this is quite nice and handy upgrade because it will add fine features to your truck. And of course, it's also appreciated that we are getting it in the standard package. We do not have to buy it, and you're, let's say, free to use it straight away in the standard project. Next, I opened another plastic bag. So here we have the clear parts. they look quite nice, and I'm not sure if we have the masks included. Recently, ICM was including the masking templates, so this kit should not be an exclusion, and the molding quality is really good. Here you can see it under the angle, so these parts look almost like real glass, what is really nice. Next we continue with the 3 identical sprues, so here I will zoom out so that you can understand what I'm talking about. These are 3 sprues for the rocket launcher, and I think we can check only one. So here, as you can see, we have these special railings or guiding rails for the rockets. We have rockets themselves. They are molded as a single piece parts, as you can notice, but we have the separate tail fins, so you will have to install them separately. But there is a quite smart design, so do not be worried about possible alignment issues. And of course, it's appreciated that the fuselage or torso, let's say, of these rockets is a one piece, so it means that you won't have any nasty seams in the middle. Next we continue with another plastic sprue, so this one is also dedicated to the rocket launcher. How you would recognize it is because we have here some subframe parts, and all this stuff will be needed in order to install the rocket launcher on your truck. Next we continue with 2 identical plastic sprues. I just need to pick them up, and here they are. So here we have various parts for the external features. It means that here we have external fuel tank. We also have some frames for the rear open part. Obviously they will not be used in today's version, I mean in this rocket launcher version, because whole rear part is replaced with the rocket launcher. But still they might be handy for some, let's say, other builds. If you will be scratch building something, then you have a nice bonus to store in your spare parts. Now you can hear I'm opening another plastic bag. That's because here we have the vinyl tires, something not what I'm a big fan of, but you cannot avoid them. This is a standard inclusion. As you can see, these are quite typical parts, nothing unusual here. We do not have details on the tire wall, and the tire pattern is also quite simple. So if you have a chance to get the resin replacement, definitely go for it. I think it should be worth investing the money into such upgrade, because it will be noticeable in such large scale, and obviously it will provide you with more features. Here we continue with more parts. So these are front cap panels, and due to the boxy structure, as you can see, it's quite a simple design. We have doors molded separately, what might be handy in some diorama ideas, because you will be able to open them on your model. But that's not all. Next we continue with another plastic sprue. So here we have also parts for the rear part of the truck, and of course we won't need these large panels, because you remember we have the rocket launcher on the rear part, but we will need this large chassis bar. We also have the tank halves, we have some suspension parts, so all of this stuff will be used, and that's why it's better not to lose it in your project. Next we continue with this sprue, which is specific for this particular version. Why? Because again we have the subframes for the rocket launcher. I think this is actually the type of the chassis parts which will be used for this version, but we also get another pair, as you remember, on the previous sprue, so you will have to pay attention in order to use the right type of parts on your model. Next we continue with the large sprue. So here we have quite an interesting stuff, because it's the last sprue for the truck, but we have a lot of things included here. Suspension parts, engine parts, some interior parts, everything is here. And for the engine, I think it would be worth thinking how to expose it on your model, because it would be a shame to hide it under the front cap and then just to forget about it, especially if it is included out of the box. Now I'm opening another plastic bag. Here we have the next set. So as you remember, we have set of ammo boxes. So here it is. These parts are supplied on 2 identical sprues. So overall design is kinda similar to what we saw on what was included in the truck kit. So it's just a matter of combining all these parts together, maybe weathering them to get a bit more convincing finish, and you'll be good to go. But that's also not all, because we have 2 more plastic bags. As you remember, we also have figurines. So first of all, here we have the figures with soldiers, and that's more or less classic parts division for a 1/35 scale from ICM, nothing unusual in my opinion. We do not have any guiding elements here, so if I flip over you can see that there are no guiding pins or any other helping elements, but I think still it will be easy to combine everything together. And of course you are free to play with some painting ideas, especially if you have some reference material. That would be a wise idea to, let's say, vary the overall painting options on these figures. But we also have the driver figurines. I think it's worth showing both sprues because they offer you different figurines. So here they are. As you can see, it's pretty much the same style of the parts. The only thing is that we have one frame for each figure, but that's pretty much also 2 drivers in total. And last but not the least is the special folder with the assembly manual. So as you can see, it features the box art which we saw on the front of the box. And if I open it here, we have all the assembly manuals. They are standard, and it means that they're the same as what we saw in the solar releases of these models. But if I flip it over, this folder here on the rear side, we have also a small profile for all the items included into the kit, but obviously you'll have the more detailed marking guides in the assembly manuals. And also decals are hidden in the assembly manuals, but they're similar to what we get in the solar releases, so there is nothing changed. As for the whole release, in my opinion, it's an efficient way if you plan to build some diorama in 1/35 scale, then it's a good opportunity to get 2 big kits in the same box, together with figures, together with ammo boxes. And of course I'll be happy to hear your opinion about such a list. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.